My name is Sirath. Here I'm today presenting the presentation about the business ethic, the evaluation of business ethic from the stakeholders primacy to the stakeholder theory and SCR. So, we are starting with the introduction. Business ethic is the study of moral dimension of the business decision making, which has grown right from Melton and Friedman 1970 business centered approach, which claimed profit making to be the only responsibility of business, to the emergence of stakeholder theory and corporate social responsibility. The underline the new trend to consider ethical choice being loyal to the company objectives and being social and environmentally responsible at same time. These changes are outlined and rational for them, as well as their application to organization and society together, which evidence from Rhodes and Bacon and other demonstrated in the presentation. And interested viewers can read a more in-depth analysis of these problem in global atlas of environmental justice, where the ethical conflicts business experience nowadays are illustrated by real world scenario. Understand the importance of accountability in ethical decision making. So, first one is accountability promote transparency, and the second one is accountability builds trust. Third one is accountability encourage ethical behavior. So now we start with the shareholder primacy. Friedman 1917. The key point of Friedman's shareholder theory is the business organizations specially are established majorly to earn the profit for honor of equity. The second point is managers are supposed to act in the best interest of owners and their primary purpose to maximize shareholders' wealth. And then critical analysis of this perspective is even through the idea of profit maximization is economically beneficial, it's fall to address socially responsibilities to other fact of the society. Then if we are talking about the brief critique and ethical changes, the discounted environmental and social costs, which in many cases leads to social problems and injustice. This history is start from early 80s and till 2019, which as shown in the diagram. So now we are talking about the risk of stakeholders theory. Decision of stakeholders Definition of stakeholders theory is born from the work of R. Edward Freeman. Stakeholders theory maintains that organizations should consider the demand of all stakeholders. These include employees, consumers, societies, and other atmosphere in general, and not merely the shareholder. Why the shift occurred? Increased social and environmentally pressure revealed the efficiency of shareholder domains model, and then change in corporation attention to the responsibility during global crises. Then if we are talking about the core principles, the notion is that the business it is needed to create the shared value for the stakeholders, and then avoidance of short term and short sighted notion of revenue retrievals as the ultimate motion of the business operations. Then I showed the theory overview through the diagram for the best understanding. Now we are coming up with the corporation social responsibility, CSR. Definition of CSR is an umbrella that comprises the responsibility that a business and entity has its environment, especially focusing on the company's social responsibility with the least harm to the environment and stakeholder. How SCR build on stakeholders theory? In 2022, indicate SCR makes a business strategy, sports, society, and environment while incorporating ethics in the decision making. More emphasis on sustainability and stakeholder information relation, regulations and proper corporation and governments. Core SCR elements: environment responsibility, such as teaching on the method on the reduction of carbon emission, and corporation responsibilities of, for example, paying its worker fairly and supporting the community. And third one is ethical consideration, such as ethical leadership, for example, corruption fees and compliance. Then, if we are talking about the practical implication for the organization, then benefit for organization is evidence in 2023: an enhanced organization reputation and credibility with its stakeholders, and sustainability of practices to gain the improved profitability, profitable and sustainable growth in the long term. As a student pointed out, adherence to ethical principle of caring challenge for business. Uh, and then approach to strive for profit object, on one hand, to be socially responsible on the other. Threat of greenwashing, as stated by Manston in 2023, depictions occur, the major SCR gestures are made, but in reality, little change. The key focuses area. The third key considerations in incorporation of SCR into the business main strategy plan, and not an extra feature, especially ethical governments and disclosing or providing accounts to the public. Then the next practical implication for the society, uh, which I define with in three parts, like positive impacts, then addressing ethical challenging, and then potential limitations. So first one is the positive impacts: in cost effective by reducing the amount of pollution causing harm to the environment, as well as surrendering resources. And if I talking about addressing ethical challenges, uh, is it is a issue to do with resources and extraction and equity by ensuring that business personalities are answerable for these their conducts. And limitations: potential for organizations to gambling on 11 enable profit focused despective SCR as CSR strategy. Often, CSR practices look more like public relations stunts than real cooperative transformations. And then we have spotting research on 2023, a key sites and the focus on stakeholder and challenge highlighted, which I provided theory on slide, and as well as I also make a good understanding within a diagram: the in self-interest perspective, the social responsible perspective, balance profit and purpose, and the best opter. Then if we are coming up with a sporting research, Bakan, and the same thing, the key argument and the critical critic of CSR and modern implications. So corporations are juridical person and function mainly to generate the profit, whether it's be from the public or by causing determined to the society. In some organization, CSR is implemented not as a real ethic value, but as a way of protecting corporation legitimacy. And critique of CSR can make a negative business practices invisible and allow companies to perform a greenwash or to uh, seemingly to be eco-friendly. And corporations advance stakeholders interest in a uh, presence of social responsive responsiveness. And then modern implications and increasing demand of regulation and transparency in order to establish the CSR policy would bring actual social benefits. So then in next slides we are talking about the sporting research canal e 2001. These are all research for sporting purpose. Then we I have a good example for the Atlas of Environment Justice. Then case study issue some effects that oil extractions had included passive through the pollution of the environment, destruction of the tree, and many health climates among the possible stakeholder impact. Many in endangers pollution, lost drinking water source and good resources, and other their homes. And ethical implication, lack of regard to the environment and social consequences in the presence of company profit. A clear example of failure to apply the stakeholder theory and genuine stakeholder as CSR principle. Lesson learned: the reason of ethical governments and accountability to provide the corporate misconduct. Then critical reflection: stakeholder primacy versus stakeholder theory. While stakeholder primacy has its own focus on maximizing the stakeholder profit, there is rarely a thought given to the impact on the society and environment. Stakeholder managing the CSR focused on the long term and obligations to all stakeholders. Strength and weakness: with the stakeholder primacy, the economy is boosted by, at the same time, their negative implication of the society and natural world. Then as CSR is ethical but problem like a greenwash, and most often shallow integrations might affect in 2004. Modern business needed industries player have to be adopt the real CSR reporting into their operations and processes, and embarrassing stakeholder engagement and disclosing. So this slides mainly for stakeholder versus shareholder. Then here's the conclusion for this summary of key point. This assignment provide the insight to the business ethic from the Friedman self-interest hypothesis to the stakeholder theory and corporation social responsibility to meet social and environmental needs. Ethical business practices are more of the sustainable business practices aim to ensure that different stakeholder put their trust in the business. Importance of the ethical governments: the result is that organization CSR has to genuine to overcome more CSR gimmicks and makes a genuine societic impact. And then final thought is ethical culture, practical and stakeholder management are cruel to be helping organization managing profits and with responsibility and failure visibility. So on the last I have about 10 references to support this whole presentation. Thank you very much.